Hi everyone, welcome to another quick watch review. Quick note for people who haven't watched most of my videos, these are all watches that I actually own. So none of them are on loaners, none of them come from any stores asking me for reviews or anything like that. These are ones that I've bought and purchased. So, of course I might sound a little biased in favor of these views because of these watches because I've already purchased them. But, at the same time you're getting a review of someone who actually owns the watch. And liked it enough to actually put his own money down to buy it. So this is the Longines Legend Diver. It is a watch that, there's a few reviews on it out there on YouTube from years ago, but I always felt that it didn't get quite the attention it deserved. I think it's an absolutely beautiful watch. It ticks a lot of boxes for me. I like vintage pieces, but I don't like vintage maintenance or vintage concerns. I like my watches to be, something that I can actually enjoy and wear at all times. Perhaps people with more budget than myself will be happy to pick up a very classic, expensive vintage piece and, have it maintained and taken care of as it actually really needs to be. But for me, that's just, too much expense and concern. So again, with that said, getting a watch like this, the Vintage Diver, the Legend Diver from Longines, you get that look without any of the concerns of an actual older piece. If you look online, you'll find pictures of this watch and its predecessor, and it's really pretty much spot on. There's not a lot different. The actual rotating bezel that's inside the under the glass is a slightly different color, I believe, on the older ones, more of a silvery tone, where this is black lacquer and matches the dial. Speaking of the dial, something I really love about this watch. It is, I do believe, black lacquer, as I just mentioned. It's very glossy, which again to me adds to the vintage appeal. It has the inner rotating bezel, as opposed to an external rotating bezel, which really opens it up a lot. The watch is only 42 millimeters, but does look a lot bigger because of that. There are watches out there that are 42 millimeters, full width of the case, that don't have as much wrist presence as this one does. It does have, as some people say, long lugs, and that doesn't bother me at all. It still fits on my 7.25, 7.5 wrist just fine. It does give you a lot of options for NATO straps in particular. I think this watch looks really at home on NATO strap. This is on a kind of vintagey, antique looking leather NATO, which I find a great combination for the design ethic of this particular piece. I think it really is a very well done, very cohesive design of having the vintage look without going overboard or overdoing it, at the same time being very modern. In fact, it does have a 300 meter water resistance rating, which is better than a lot of watches that only go about 200. It has on the side here dual crowns, which the actual time setting one and the bezel, and they are both screw down, so you're not going to have to worry about any water leakage there. They're very simple with the cross hatching that was done on the original as well, again adding to the kind of purity of design. I'll take a quick look at the back, because the back does have a rather nice design on it. You have a nice little scuba diver character on there in a nice etched relief. Really nicely done. Again, you can see from the side, it's not a really big watch. The long lugs give it a lot of presence. The tall crystal, again, helps that, so on the wrist, it has, draws a lot of attention, but it's not particularly large at all, in my opinion, and it wears very well. One of the things I do like about it, as you can see, is, the ease of strap changing. I particularly like NATOs myself, but there's a lot of different things you can do with this watch. The original kind of fabric type strap is a really good strap. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But you have a lot of options. You can do the NATOs, the original. You could dress it up on a kind of exotic skin, like an alligator or crocodile, if you want to dress it up. You can put it on rubber. You can put it on nylon NATO. All these kind of different things. Give it a lot of variety. Like my Panerai, I do like strap changes. I like watches that you can change the personality with a strap, and this is definitely one of them. Because it is a diver, but yet has a nice lacquered dial with a very conservative typeface. Not too much going on the dial, just a couple lines of text and the logo. It has delicate hands. It can be, almost a dress watch, depending upon your strap choices. I mean, you could put this on a nice alligator strap and, easily go with shirt and tie suit. No problem whatsoever. I do like versatility in my watches, amongst other things. The watch itself, of course, because it does have that kind of, dress up ability. You can see that the case itself is very highly polished. There's actually no brush surfaces on this whatsoever. They're all polished, which is, kind of the style it was back when the original one came out. So again, it is in sync with the original intentions just being revived for a current day. Being part of the Swatch group, Longines has access to ETA movements, so this is a nice ETA movement inside. It's probably been cleaned up a little bit. I'm not sure of the grade, but I don't really worry because, again, as I've said in other videos, I'm not fanatical about timekeeping. As long as it's accurate, reasonably accurate per day. I wear my watches at most for about a day or two at a time. That's good enough for me. But the fact that it is an ETA and it is Swatch group, we don't have to worry too much about any kind of parts accessibility issues or what's not. And I think because it's ETA based, if you want to go and have it serviced somewhere outside the factory, then a decent watchsmith who is familiar with ETA movements, like a 2824 this is based on, should have no troubles. So sometimes when you're buying a luxury watch, which this debatably could be depending upon your budget, the maintenance costs can be kept under control with something more basic inside and not an in-house movement. So again, in summary, Longines Legend Diver can be had for well under list price. I picked this up for about $1,600 US here in Tokyo, with the biggest watch box I've ever seen outside of a Panerai. For that, it's a very good deal. 300 meters water resistance, great dial, great case, just a really unique piece that could fit in any collection, and will certainly be staying in mind for quite some time. Again, as always, thank you for your viewing, thank you for your time, and leave comments below in the section if you like. Cheers, till next time, bye-bye.